This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so why we are going for collections for arrays and variables? See, these collections are dynamically growable in nature. Whenever it reaches the capacity size or based on load factor, collection size is going to be increased. So if we are dealing with arrays, once we define the size of array, we cannot store the elements more than that. So they are fixed in nature. And memory wise, collections are very better than the arrays. And in collections, we can store the different type of uh, objects. Like if we are trying to store strings, we can store and we can store the integer values in one collection only. But when we are coming to arrays, just we need to store the homogeneous elements. If my array is only integer type, we need to store integer values. If it is related to string, we need to store only string one. And performance wise is collections are not better because internally it uses the data structures. And why it is not better in performance wise also, I will tell in later when our situation comes. So arrays are fixed in nature, because once we define, we are not allowing to store more values in that. And while retrieval, it's better than these collections. And underlying data structure, so collections implements the data structures inside. So if we want deal with the arrays, let's take coming to sorting techniques. For sorting techniques or searching techniques, we have to write lot of code in arrays. But coming to the collections, just we need to reuse the API methods. So I want sort the collection, just use collections dot sort. But if you want sort the arrays, you have to write for loop, inside for loop. hmm? Like that we have to write more code. And so collections, when we are dealing with collections, we need to talk in terms of objects only, not in terms of primitives. If we are dealing with primitives, so sometimes uh, these primitive values can be taken as the integers. And coming to arrays, we can store primitive as well as objects. So this is the thing why we are using collections over the arrays. And so yesterday I discussed about the interfaces like list. So why we are using list and set. So if you want store the duplicate elements, and if you want insertion order to be followed, we are going for list. And here, so what are the implementation classes for list? Array list, linked list, array list, linked list, vector. Okay. Next, set. Coming to set, so here we are storing the duplicate elements. In set, we are not allowing them to store the duplicate elements. And insertion order is not followed. And this is elements are stored based on the hashing concepts. I will explain today about what is hashing concept and what are the implementation classes, asset and link, asset and tree set. See, coming to set, tree set, linked asset and asset. And set is extended by sorted set and navigable set also. Next, uh, coming to sorted set. What is this sorted set? Uh, this is a interface, right? So if you want to represent the group of individual objects as a single entity, where duplicates are in set, we don't allow duplicates. That is true. But I want to store all objects should be in insertion order to inserted according to sorting order. So Sorting means just we can store these elements in ascending order or descending order. So generally stores in ascending order. Whatever objects we insert into particular collection, they will be stored as this ascending order or descending order. This is a sorted set. Okay, navigable set. Let's say child interface of set, it contains several methods for navigation purpose, like we can tell tree set. So I will talk about more on this tree set today's class. And I told about queue as well, right? Queue, why we are using this queue is if we want to do something, and before that I want to do something, like before sending mails, I can type my mails, and these mails are going to be stored in drafts or outbox before sending. Generally it stores in drafts, right? So once our typing is done, so once we click on send, that information is going to be sent. Okay, and see, it implemented class of priority queue and blocking queue. So these are interfaces. Okay, so this is implementation class. And next, coming to map. So why we are using, if you want to store the information in the form of key value pair, we are using this map. Internally it implements the async concepts. How maps works internally, I will explain. See, if you want to represent group of objects as pairs, key value pair, we'll go for the map. And duplicate keys are not allowed, but values can be duplicated. Why means we are trying to identify the values based on particular key. So if keys are duplicate, means there is no meaning of duplication of these keys. Okay, what are the implementation class? Hash map, linked hash map, weak hash map, identity hash map, and dictionary is one of the legacy collection as table and properties. Okay, like same thing, whatever existing set, yes, here sorted set is there, and here we are seeing the sorted map. So if you want to store the information in the form of key value pair, and that will be sorted based on the key values. And navigable tree, so if you want to navigate through that particular map, so this navigable interface provides the different methods. And what is the implementation club? That is a tree map. Okay, next. So for sorting we will use the comparable and comparator. uh, so there are two different utility classes, collections and arrays. Okay, so why we go for array list, linked list, and vector? Yesterday I explained, just I'm reminding. So if, like same thing, why we are using collections means for storing the duplicate values, and insertion order is followed, heterogeneous elements can be allowed. And see, except tree set and tree map, every heterogeneous collection, everywhere different objects are allowed to store. Okay, one null value is possible. And array list and vector classes implement the serializable, clonable, random access. Yesterday I already explained, that's why just I am going through very simple statements. And this is recommended for arrays. Array lists are recommended for retrieval purpose. Why means we are directly accessing based on the index, but this is not best for the insertion. If we are trying to remove the element from the array at second position, so we need to move those elements to forward. Okay, so it's taking more time, that is not suggestible. And list, array list is not synchronized. For making synchronized, we can call the method in collections class, like collections that synchronize list. Okay, and what is the initial capacity of elements? So whenever we define the array list, what is the size for that? 10 elements is 10. And so if you want to give the element to the constructor, so let's take what is default is 10, and if I'm trying to give some particular value to that, okay, and we can give the one more collection to this array list. Let's take array list 1 is there, and I want to create array list 2. So directly I can pass the array list 1 to array list 2. So instead of collection I can pass simply parameter as array list 2. Next, linked list. So when we are going, if you want to store the information in insertion order, like same thing only, where matter comes into picture is, so when it is best for insertion and deletion, and internally it implements what data structure implemented? Double linked list. Okay, and by using this linked list, what we can develop is stacks and queues. Okay, and it provides different method like add last, remove first, remove last. I'm not explaining these uh, points from 1 to 5 because these are common things in both. Okay, now coming to vector, why we are using this vector? So vector is a legacy collections, and it acting like same as array list only. Where is the difference then? So vector implements serial wise till 1 to 5 points are equal, and coming to vector, vector contains synchronous methods. So it is a thread shaped. Array list is a not thread shaped. For making synchronized, we are using calling the method collections dot sync on collections dot synchronize unmodifiable collection. Sorry, what is that method? Collections dot synchronized. Okay, now, so why synchronize? What is synchronization is just whenever thread come into picture, then I will explain. And what is the default size of this is capacity is 2, but here how this capacity is calculated? So capacity is called capacity into 2, so means size is going to be double. Okay, but here what formula used in array list? That is current capacity, whatever value we process along with constructor into 3 by 2 plus 1. So this is the size to be increased. So here directly size is going to be double. So what is data structure used internally? Resizable or growable array. Okay, so we have different things like what is the constructor for this normal default constructor, and we can force the uh, capacity, and we can force the capacity along with the load factor. What is load factor? Let's take, if I mention 20 100 comma 75. So let's take whenever 75% of this 20 is going to reach, then this vector is going to be double. So that is load factor is a value of capacity. Whenever it is going to reach that percentage, vector is going to be double. So there are different methods. Okay, now I will tell about set. Okay, I already explained, but I'm revising once again because Ash missed that concept, and I'm going to very fast today. I think today and maybe tomorrow also it take times. Uh, okay, coming to hash set. Generally, it allows duplicates or not? No. Set won't allow duplicates, and insertion order is not followed. Based on the hashing concept, elements are going to be stored. What is hashing concept? I will explain today before starting the mapping. Okay, maps. Nulls can be inserted. We can insert any null values, but it allows only one value. So we won't get the compile time error, and it allows the different type of objects, heterogeneous objects. Same thing, like from point to 4 is same thing is insertion is difference between linked list or array list is it won't allow the duplicates. Insertion order is not followed. So anyone can ask, what is the difference between array list and asset? What is the difference between linked list and linked asset? Okay, so asset is the best for any frequent operation of sets. Why means we if we apply the async concept, that is a good thing. So I will explain that also. In asset, duplicates are not allowed, but if you are trying to insert the duplicates, it won't give the compile time error or runtime exception, and just simply add method returns false. Okay, so yesterday saw that one, today also I will show. So I explained about load factor, right? What is default load factor is 75%. Whenever reaches the size of 70%, whatever we define, that is going to be increased. Okay, Sajan, are you there? I'm not able to hear you. And internally it implements the hash table. So what is linked asset? So here in asset we are storing the elements in the form of asset only, based on hashing concept, not insertion order. But I want to store the elements in insertion order and not it should not allow the duplicates. So then we can go for the linked asset. Okay, internally it implements the linked list and as table. Now coming to tree set. Yeah, this is the one of the very important concepts. So I will give the example for this. What is tree set? And internally it implements the balanced tree. Actually, it's a very big story to explain about balanced tree, but just don't worry about that. Hmm? You can understand this. So in tree set, duplicates are not allowed. Insertion order not preserved. Heterogeneous objects are not allowed. So till now we discussed that heterogeneous objects are allowed the collections whatever we discussed till now. If you are trying to store the different elements, what will get? Class cast exception will run at runtime, and null insertion is possible only once, and implements the serializable clonable but not random access. Only array list and vector is uh, implements the random access, and all objects will inserted based on the default natural sorting order. I will explain these points now. And it what about null? So if we are trying to store null in tree set, what will happen? We will get the null pointer exception. And if we insert the null into empty tree set, so null is allowed only once, but after this null, if we are trying to insert any other value, will get the compile time error. Because so okay, why it will store? I will tell in whenever I explain the program now. Till 1.7 nulls are allowed. After 1.7 tree set won't allow the null values. Now coming to example. Okay, set. So I'm trying to talk about this set. I think Sajan left. Hello. Yeah. See, what I explained till now, I'm going to talk about that. So this is a tree set, and see, implementation of this tree set. It implements navigable set and clonable and serializable and extends the abstract set. And what are the constructors used here? Tree set, default constructor without any parameters, and comparator. It taking the comparator and it takes the collection and tree set. Okay, why we are using this tree set is for storing the element in the form of sorted order. We are going for the tree set. Okay, so just we'll see the examples. Okay, I define my tree set. I'm storing the elements. Okay, that is strings. These all are strings, right? So now I'm trying to execute, I'm trying to print that one. So whenever we store, only we have to store same type of elements. We should not store different type of elements. Okay. Now I'm trying to run this. Okay. So I stored Venki, Suman, Sai, Nagar, Chiru, Balaya. See, in which order it came in? Different order. What is the order? V's came first. S, S, N, C, B. Why that is came into picture? So because here I pass the comparator. So in comparator I have written logic like this: I2 dot I1. So forget about this comparator. Without comparator, now I am displaying. So what is the output now? It will start from the B. Okay. So Balaya, Chiru, and Nagarjuna, Sai Kumar, Suman, and Venki. So it is storing the elements in the form of natural sorting order in ascending order, dictionary order. Okay. Now see. So next point. Can we store the? We have to store only homogeneous elements. Like now I am trying to store the different element, that is, what is that element? I am trying to store the 1. Okay, can I store this? In reset element should be heterogeneous. Is it true? No, we have to
No,
store
sir.
only homogeneous values. So what will happen if I store? So I didn't get the compile time error, but at runtime I'm getting the error. What is the error? Class cast exception. So whenever you get first exceptions properly. So if you understand the exception, giving solution is very simple. See, string cannot be casted to integer, right? So here, why this? Why we cannot store this? So we are storing in sorting order, right? Internally, it implements the concept. Okay. Now, Can I compare string with integer? Just think logically. So we cannot do it, right? Can we do
No,
it?
sir. No, sir.
No. So if it is of same type, we can compare. But so if I'm trying to compare with string with integers, there is no meaning. So classes are different. So that is what we are getting the exception. Okay. Class cost exception. So class cost exception is a runtime exception that is happened due to programmer mistake. Okay. So what mistake we did is we have stored the different different type of objects. Let's take now null. So now what will happen? So what is the output I will get now? I will see this is Chiru. Chiru is comparing with null. If we are comparing anything with null, think like that. If we are trying to operate on null, think always we are getting null pointer exception. Okay, so we have to be cautious while dealing with the null. So let's take. So if I'm running this program, what exception I will get? Null pointer exception I will get, because internally we are comparing null dot equals with values. So how this is storing, it's like very big story, no need to go into depth. So internally compares everything and it stores in the form of balance tree. Okay, finally it gives the output. Okay, next, see, if I'm storing the strings as well as null, I'm getting the error now. What I will do is I will just store the null only. Can I store it now? Nothing. Whenever we store the one element, so only one element is there. Is there any possibility to compare with other?
No,
No,
sir.
right? So what it is giving? It is giving the null pointer exception. But what version we are using? We are using 1.8. So this null is allowed. We can store null only once till 1.6. After 1.7, we should it should not allowed to store the null values in preset. Remember this. That is what it is giving the compile type error. Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Yes, sir.
Now fine. Next. So let's see. Yesterday I was discussing one concept, Sajan, right? So we are trying to store this string buffer and we are trying to get it, but we need to remove the duplicates, right? So
Yeah.
how we are doing that? Okay. So just I will give the example for that. Mm, till now I store these things, that is working fine. But if I'm trying to store my customized objects, so what will happen? Customized object should be comparable. All wrapper classes are comparable. That's why no need to bother about them. So simply it works. Okay. But if it is our customized objects are not comparable objects, so what will happen? See, is string buffer implements comparable or comparator? No. Answer is no.
No.
So for that, if it is comparable, our expectations should be perfect. So I'm storing A, B, T, Z, Z. This is a set. Set should not allow. Set should not allow. Tell me duplicate values. Let's see. If I'm trying to print my set, what it will be printed. So what is the output for this? Tell me. It should be come in sorting order. Is it comes in sorting order? First thing.
No, sir.
So what happens? String buffer cannot be casted to comparable. Okay. Thing is, if we are trying to store any element in tree set, first point, that definitely should be implement comparable or comparatively. Then only we need to add into tree set. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That is what it is giving error. What error it is giving? String buffer cannot be casted to comparable. So definitely whatever values we are passing to tree set, that should be comparable and comparative. So string buffer is not comparable. How can we make this as the comparable? Okay. So see, what I am doing is my comparator. I am taking my custom comparator, implementing the comparator. So comparator has one method, that is compare. Okay. And for this, what I am doing is, this is a method. Let's see. Before that, I want to see show. Okay.
Yes.
What it is telling? Implement the add the unimplemented method. So you are seeing comparator dot compare. Okay. So compare method need to be implemented here. It is taking two objects. That is what we did here. Okay.
Okay.
This is now see. So what type of object we are passing? We want passing string buffer objects. Okay. This, how can we define our comparator? Means this is the thing, and for tree set we have to pass the comparator. New my comparator. So why I am passing means, internally for comparison purpose we are passing the comparator. If that is not implemented by the comparable or comparator, definitely we need to pass the comparator to tree set. So such a way that tree set see, tree set takes the comparator. So we need to pass the tree set comparator. Okay. Now let's see. So should I get that exception? No. Again it is giving. Why it is giving? So it is not casted to string. So for that purpose, see, I am purposefully throwing this exception. Okay. This comparator is of type, generally this is object type now. So what I am trying to do is, I am trying to make this as the string string buffer type, and I am pasting this. Okay. Now, so what type of objects storing in my tree set? I am storing string type of objects. Okay, string buffer type of objects. Okay. Now I am converting that string buffer elements to string. Okay, to
Yes.
string. Yeah. Now let's see. So now can we get the exception now? Tell me. So tree set is taking comparator. This comparator is of string buffer type. Whenever we store the string buffer objects, and these are going to be compared. Where it is comparing, so I converted them into strings and calling the method which is defined in the strings. Okay. So compare to method is in string class. Okay. So I am comparing those two values. So let's see what is my output now. So are you seeing the duplicate elements here?
No, sir.
No, right? So
No, sir.
if we don't implement this comparator, or if we take the asset, so we see like A, B, T, Z, Z, like that. Okay. Now I want to tell about line number 51. What is 51? T dot add new string buffer of Z. So what add will check if already duplicate elements exist. Already element exists, simply returns the false. Okay, that is what our answer is. This one, false one. Okay, got it. Now
Yes.
same example I will show in linked asset. Yesterday I was discussed and stopped there. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so now I stored in set asset and just I'm printing as set. So what from second to last one, last to second one. See, string buffers generally not comparable. That's why Raju is comes into picture. So for making that avoid duplications, we need to use the custom string buffer comparator. In string buffer comparator, I pass the string buffer elements to compare method. I'm trying to compare that one. Same whatever method I did there, I used here. Okay. Now this is about the tree set. So can you tell me the properties for this tree set? Element should be
Unique.
same, means they should be homogeneous. If we are different, we'll get the class cost exception. And whenever we pass the elements to tree set, those elements should be comparable or comparable. Tell like this. What is comparable means that class should implement or implement comparator or comparable. Okay, then that is the comparable. So for tree set, definitely we have to pass comparator only, comparable objects. That is what, then only we'll get the proper output, else we'll get the class cost exception. Okay,
Yes, sir.
now see, so what is the output for this tree set? I got in ascending order. Now I want to get this information in descending order. Okay, if I use I1 as the first one, I2 as the second one, I will get the ascending order. Now if I make this as I2 and I1, so which order I will get? Anyone can ask. I want elements in descending order. So ZTBA. Okay. Now see, what I will is I1, I2. So I am just adding minus here. So now also I will get the ascending order. Okay, is it true? If I use minus before this comparator with element I1 to I2, it will take considering as I2 dot I1 only, I2 dot comparator of I1. Okay, now let's see. So I am using I2 here. Are you able to see my screen
Yes, sir.
properly?
Yes.
Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now what I did is I used minus I2 dot compare to dot I1. Generally, if it is I2 dot compare I1 means descending order. For descending order, I am applying minus, means it is giving in ascending order, right? Like just reversing again, I am applying same concept, negotiation concept, right? You know, people, negotiation concepts. I am applying once, again I am reversing that concept.
Okay.
Okay, it is coming A, B, T, Z. Now let's see. So I am not writing anything here, just simply I want return X, sir, plus 1. So what will happen? So in interviews, you can get this type of snippets. See, A, B, T, Z, Z. So in which order we inserted the elements? That is not sorting order. I want add one more element before this B. This is C. Whatever sorting order we followed, that will be executed. Now, plus one is giving in insertion order. Generally, T set purposes, what is that? Is using for sorting order. But if I want to break, how can I break? By using return place. Okay. Okay. Whatever insertion order I followed. Now I want reverse the insertion order. Reverse the insertion order. What is it is? Z, Z, T, B, C, A. First, initially I inserted A, next C, after that B, next T, Z, Z. And internally it won't compare. Duplicate elements are coming into picture. Plus 1, minus 1 is doing that thing. Now, I want to return only 0. Only 0. What it is now. So what is the output now? I am getting only first element whichever we inserted. Remember, plus 1 is giving only insertion order, and minus 1 is giving reverse of insertion order. If I pass 0, I will get only first element in list. Okay. Same thing I mentioned here, I think. Okay. Yeah, somewhere I mentioned it. I don't remember where exactly I remember. Yeah, it is. See this one. Whenever we talking about comparator, that concept come into picture. First, I took the object 1 and object 2. So, whichever I pass to this method, object into 1, object into 2, right? So, if I use first as object 1 and compare to object 2, ascending order. So, if I am applying minus, it is giving descending order. If I am applying uh, just I reverse the objects, object 2 dot compare to of object 1, descending order. For same thing I am applying minus concept. So it is giving the ascending order. Okay. Plus 1 is the insertion order, minus 1 is the reverse order. And if I use 0, only first element in list will be given. Okay. You got it. So what is the purpose of reset? Why we are using? What is asset? Why we are using? So if I want do in reverse order, so what we have to do like that? Okay. I think this is I spent more time on this reset. Okay. Next. So what concept we'll discuss is now we'll directly go to the maps. Okay. So what is map? Tell me. Map stores the information in the form of key value pair. So I told purpose also. Let's take I'm the Indian player. Okay. I have some records. Okay. That is, I think that is not good example. Okay. I have Aadhaar card, right?
Yes, sir.
Aadhaar card has some ID, right? So if I want store my ID, if I want get my information based on that ID, I can get the information, right? So what is the key here? Key is the ID and information is value. So just we can directly pass the key value. You can get the details about that particular person. Okay. Now maps internally we need to talk about more on hash map. So this linked hash map, like whatever sorting order we stored, sorry, whatever insertion order we followed, it will be stored in same order, and tree map is used for sorting the elements based on the keys. Like whatever tree set is doing, tree map is doing, but same thing. Difference is just we are storing the elements in the form of key value pair. Okay, so let's go. Where is my map? Oh. Just I will find out the finds. What happened? Map. See, map is not child interface of collection, and map is used to store key value pair, and key value pair is called as the entry, and keys are not duplicates. IDs should not be always same, right? Am I right?
ID.
And
It
next
should
entry.
be.
IDs, if I want to identify something, it should, Aadhaar cards are, let's think simple way. Is Aadhaar cards are same for two persons?
No, sir.
No, it should not. That is the thing. Okay. So map internally contains entry. Entry internally contains key value, and set of values need to be identified next. So I will give the structure for this. Okay. Map. Actually, collections is a very used topic in Racing. I think I'm thinking I'm missing. If I miss any concepts, just let me know. Sir, you missed this concept like that. We can discuss. Okay, don't
Okay,
worry.
sir.
Okay,
Okay.
this is a map. Okay, so this map contains entries, set of entries. Okay, so this entry contains, every entry contains key value, and this also contains same thing, key value. And so this entries in the form of set format, key value. Okay, like, so here set of entries, map dot entry. Okay, so map contains entries that is in the form of set. Okay, this is the structure inside of map. So this total one is the map, and these entries are stored in set. So whenever we are navigating through this map, first what we have to get, so outer one is the map. So map contains set contains list of entries. So how can we access this is notepad plus. How can I access this? First I need to get the entries, set of entries from the map. Map contains set of entries, right? Set of entry set. Now next, so if I want to get the element from this map, first what I have to do is get the entry set, and again this set contains entries, right? Now then you can navigate through through entry. So while we are looping, first what we have to get? We have to get the entry set. Then you can get the entry. From entry, you can get the key and value. Okay, this is the thing. So just I will show the examples. So we are storing. Before that, we'll discuss about what is asset. So things are same. So they will talk about insertion order. They will talk about duplicates in terms of keys or values. And can we store the heterogeneous elements? Can we store the null value? So if we are trying to store the null value, what will happen? And when is the best for this? What is the capacity? Same points, right? So if you want think about collections, you should remember insertion order, duplicate keys, heterogeneous types are homogeneous types in terms of null, and what are the interfaces, which is when we can use this map, and what is the capacity. Okay, see, same concepts. What is the different here is duplicate keys are not allowed, values can be duplicated. So heterogeneous objects are allowed for both key and values. So if we allow, what will happen also, we have to see. And null is allowed for key only once. Null is allowed for any number of times for the value. So if I am storing the elements like in map, I am putting put dot key. Key is null, and again value can be null. So if I am trying to store null once again, so what will happen? It won't give the error, but we should not store. It will give the runtime exception, I think so. Just we'll check, but we can store any number of times this null value. Put dot
Okay, sir.
put up 2 comma null. So any number of times. Okay, and this is the topic here. So when is at what time this is best for searching the, for search operation is best. So why means we are internally implementing the async concept. Okay. So what is the data types used internally? As table is the internally used data type. Okay. So what is the default capacity? 16. So for arrays it is 10. What is the fill ratio? 75%. Okay. Now coming to linked asset. So linked means, so we insertion not order not preserved based on the hash code of keys. No, insertion order follows here. If it is linked means, for following the insertion order we are applying this one. Okay, and internally it implements the linked list plus hash table, and insertion order preserved based on the hash code of keys. And linked asset and linked hash map are commonly used for caching mechanism. What is caching?
Storing
For
the data
storing the
locally.
data temporarily in primary memory.
Okay.
Okay, just for certain time of period I want store. Like we have RAM, right? RAM is temporary storage, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for storing the information for sake of time temporarily, we use the ASIC concepts. Like we can tell the cache, not hashing concept. Cache. Cache is a temporary area to store the information. Okay. So
Yes.
they introduced in 1.4. Okay. Next, I will give the examples also. Don't worry. Let's simply what is map? Okay. Instead of coming here, we can complete this and we can come there. Okay. What is the identity hash map? Identity hash map. Generally, we have key value pairs, right? So map contains key value pair. So here we are storing the keys in as objects. Let's take integer of 1 and storing Raju here. Now again I am trying to store integer with one value. Actually, generally objects, if I define like this, so is these two keys are equal? Do you think? These are objects.
Objects
So
different.
think in terms of references. If these are objects, so is references are same? For this memory is allocated with differently. For this
Different.
second one also memory is allocated different, even though values are same. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's why this is a separate key. This is a separate key, because generally how objects are storing, just simply it takes, where is the pen? Okay, let's take first key is the object 1 and second key is the object 2. So if we are, can we tell the difference of this one and this one is equal? So it's separately storing, right?
Yes, sir.
Separately storing, so we cannot tell they are equal. That's what. So how can we make these two as equal? So identity hash map came into picture. Whenever content is same for this particular objects, they can be considered as the same. So that is the concept. So see, same as hash map include the methods and constructor. It's like working like same hash map only, but thing where come into picture. It uses equals method to content comparison. Hash is internally implements the equals, but here identity hash map is using double equals. Double equals means it's compares the references, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Yes.
just I will explain. If you don't understand, don't worry. Okay. You got this concept here now, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you get this, I will show the programmatically. Don't confuse. Now weak hash map. What is weak hash map? Generally, we are operating on maps, and okay, my work is done. Whatever keys are there, those keys are not allowed to collect by the garbage collector. If we are dealing with sorry, if we are dealing with hash map, garbage collector is not allowed to access the undifferentiated objects. So now see, even though object does not have any references, it is not eligible for the garbage collection of objects associated with the maps. So garbage collector is dominated by the hash map. Now in case of weak hash map, object does not have any references and it is eligible for the garbage collection, even though object associated with the hash map and garbage collector dominated by the weak hash map. See, weak hash map, you got the purpose. Undifferentiated objects cannot be collected if you use the hash map. If you use the weak hash map, undifferentiated objects are going to be collected by the garbage collector. Okay, see.
Okay.
So did I have it? Where is my map? So hash map demo. Simply, generally, however we store map. So we'll copy paste the example somewhere. I'm taking this one. So it's a hash map. Okay. So whatever explain everything here documented here, I will share the examples too. Okay. Don't worry about documents. Did you gone through the link and documents which I shared yesterday?
Uh, yes, sir. Actually, I was out of town, so I couldn't go through all the documents. But yes, I've
Okay.
started going through them.
Not a problem, but it's better to complete simultaneously. Some concepts you may not understand why I explain. Okay. So
Okay.
even if you understand, and thing is you have to remember. Okay. See.
Okay.
So what it is printing now? I1, I2, I1, I2. So this is integer 10, integer 10. So key is same. And how a hash map internally works I will show. So we can store the elements like this. Okay, let's try to store one more with new integer of 20. Okay, so how can we store elements in map? By using the put method. So it should contain Rane. Now see, this is like ch. I want to talk about put only now. Okay. Whenever we store the year key is 10, again year key is
And
10. Okay. So whenever keys are equal, so what will happen is internally in async concept, it will check whether that key is already existing or not. If that is already existing, corresponding to that, what value is there? Whatever new value is inserted, that will be returned. Okay, 10 is already there, and again I'm trying to store the same element, same key. So I will get the value is
well,
replaced with
maybe.
this one, old one, and returning the new value. I think it should return old value. Okay, that is what our example. So here 10 is replaced, 10 is equal to, instead of coming Raju, it's giving Rani. Okay.
So one doubt here.
Now, yeah.
What if both the keys and the values are same? So like
So
what
just it will
it would.
verify. If it
Okay.
is equal, won't happen anything. So
Okay.
what did you use? If content is equal, is it replaced? No need to replace, right? So inside content checking will concepts will be implemented. Okay, I will explain about it. Hmm? Next, coming to hash map. So here what happened? Value is replaced for 10. Are you accepting? For
Yeah.
Raju, instead of coming Raju, I got the Ravani. Now come to hash map. What hash map doing? So it is 10 and it is 10. Okay. So now let's try to print this. So 10 is Raju, 10 is Rani. Okay. You got it? Giving
Yes, sir.
reverse results. So this I is considered separately. This I2 is considered separately
Separately.
with the same values. Okay. Just we'll go to document once again. In case of normal hash map, JVM will uses equals method to content comparison. Yeah. So I have given reverse concept. Actually, I1 double equal to I2 means we are comparing the references. So if these references, if we are doing like that means these are the references, right? References never be equals. That is what we are getting the two elements here. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Previously I told directly content will be verified, but in hash map only content will be verified. Okay. So just I am removing this. Instead of removing, we can copy. Getting.
Oh, yes, sir.
So I have given concept reversely, but if we follow hash map, equals method will be applied on the keys.
Keys.
So if we use the identity hash map, reference types will be compared. If reference types are comparing means they won't be equals. Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it. Difference between hash map and identity hash map.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's go to weak hash map. Now where is weak? Haven't
Last.
implemented. Yeah. This is hash map. There is a class called temp. Temp is a class. So where it is defined? Here it is defined with toString and with finalize method. And see, I'm taking temp as the so keys can be our custom objects. Okay, that can be strings, wrapper clauses. Okay, why we use keys only wrapper clauses or custom classes means we need to follow some rules for defining these keys. Okay, I will tell about that also. Okay,
Okay.
now T for corresponding to T I am storing the Raju and I am trying to print. So what I will get? I will get the hash map with temp along with Raju. Okay, now here what I am doing? I am trying to remove this one. T is equal to null means I am removing the reference to this one. So whatever object created with new temp that should be deleted according to our uh, concept, right? So if I'm trying to call system.gc and applying uh, thread concept for sleeping, sometimes for collection of this gc, and so this is t is not at all used. That's why because we made it as null, so garbage collector need to be collected, but in hashing concept it won't do that one. So even if I'm trying to print same hash map, so this key information will be existed. Okay,
Okay,
now
sir.
coming to weak hash map. Okay, t1 is new temp. Okay, next I'm putting the information with same t comma Raju. Again I'm printing and I'm making the key as null. So key is unreferenced and trying to call the gc. If I want to call garbage collector forcefully, you can use the gc. System is the predefined class. In that there is a method gc and thread sleep. means we are allowing thread to collect the unreferenced variables if I'm trying to print. So what is the output here? Hash map is containing temp along with Raju, and here the weak hash map contains information. No, it won't contain the information. So I will show the output. Did you understand the difference between that hash map and weak hash map? So undifferenced variables are there that is not eligible for the garbage collection in hash map. In weak hash map, undifferenced variables or that is keys are eligible for the garbage collection. So what is the output in first situation? What is the output in second situation? So I am storing temp dot Raju. See, first time I printed, okay, that is fine without unreferencing the object. Okay, but here at line number 18, whatever at line number 18, even though I referenced made this object as null, it is giving the output. So that because GC is not collected the object which is stored in hash map.
Okay.
Now coming to this one. Here T1 is equal to new object and T is equal to null. So actually we have to use T1 here, right? Okay. Hello,
Yes, sir.
Rajan.
Yeah.
I think it's showing you left. Yeah.
Is it audible
So now
now?
see. Yeah. It's audible now.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sir.
will wrap up. Don't worry. It's looking like a very long session, but TK, just we are going in depth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, weak hash map. So coming to weak hash map, temp is equal to Raju and whatever year finalize when finalize method will be executed. So whenever garbage collection concept garbage collector is activated internally, call the object. Finalize method will be called. This is executed. So after that, what it is printed? So this is fine. At this, it is printed. Garbage collected and collected the undifferenced variable that is T1, and finally I am trying to print the weak hash map. So it is empty. So means garbage collector collected the undifferenced variable in weak hash map. Okay, got
Yes, sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, so this is the thing about map, hash map, identity hash map, and weak hash map. So what about this tree map? Simply, so whatever we discussed in tree set, same points will be applicable here. And tree map for storing the information in sorting order. So we are applying the tree map. So what are the constructor for this? Tree map. So for comparison purpose, if we are talking in terms of comparison means just we need to talk about comparator or comparable or sorted maps, sorted things. Okay, next, so how can we do it? Like same thing. Yeah, here can I take the objects as a keys? Can I?
Yes, sir.
Hello, yes, we can take. So I took the employee 1 object, employee 2 object, employee 3 object, I'm storing. Okay, this is a
Yes.
hash map. Think like that. So in hash map we can do it. Now I want to print. So what will happen? So asset internally implements the async concept, this as map. So whatever objects are there, that will be printed here. Next, tree map for displaying them in sorting order. We use as this one. So sorting on which, based on ID or name. So we have to see. Let's see. Employee. So this is comparable, right? So on which basis I am doing sorting? Here, on based on name I am doing the sorting and applying the minus here. So minus is, what is minus? It is
Ascending order.
reversing the ascending order. Okay, let's see.
Yes.
So in employee object we need to bother about the names. Based on names, object are sorted. This is a very important concept. Let's see. So Rajini, Rani, Raju and Rahul, right? Is it in ascending order based on name or not? Yes, it's true.
Yes.
Okay, if I want to do the sorting based on the ID, you have to write the logic for ID. You can use the include ID here. Okay, so anyone can ask anything. I want get the info. I want to store the information in map based on the age. I want to store the information in map based on the name, based on the ID, like that. Any constant can given. So thing is, just we need to implement comparable or comparator. If we are working with comparable, override the comparative method and write your own logic. Okay, based on
Yes, sir.
either age, either ID, write separate comparator. I think it's better to go with that. So if it is comparator means we need to override the compare method. So for that we are passing two objects. If it is comparable, we are passing one method to compare and taking this object. But if it is comparator, so what we have to do? We have to pass two objects and we have to compare two objects. This is the syntax here. So when we are going for comparable, I will explain tomorrow. I think for today it's enough. I hope you understand well for today. But before wrapping up, I want uh, tell, so how can we navigate, how can we retrieve the elements in map. So I will wrap up in 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay,
Yes.
loopings. Okay, so how can we loop through it? So generally, iterator. So first what we have to get is 3. So I have a map now. From that map I need to get the, what I have to get, tell me. So map
Key.
stores, first we have to get this set. I told you, right? Where is my diagram?
Yeah.
So first we need to get this set. After that we can get the entry. From that entry we can get the key values.
Key
Okay,
values.
so I'm writing same thing, same logic here. First I'm getting entry, map dot entry. So why I'm writing this curly braces, I will tell after this collections concept comes. Before starting itself I have to explain. Not, it's not a big concept, but it's an important concept to understand. Map dot entry set. So there were different methods. I'm not today I not at all talked about any methods. Only thing is just I talked about put only. So you can remove the elements, get the elements. So you have to do some R&D on this with different methods. Okay. Entry
Yes,
sets.
sir.
First I am getting the entry. So now I got the entry first set. Okay. So now I want to explain without generics. Generics means without curly braces. Next, this set contains what type? Set of entries. Entry is equal set dot iterator. See, so it contains many entries, right? So for this, what I will do is I will write for loop entry type entry okay and iterator over an array or instance of java.lang is iterable. Let's check. Okay, set up this. We can use the iterator also. So if you want, we got set, right? So if we got
Yes.
set, we can iterate using the iterator too. So I will explain about for loop also. Don't worry. Okay, iterator and itr is equal to set dot iterator. Now while iterator. So if we are trying to do iterating means we can check for the elements iterator dot as next, and thing is it is checking for the object. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm getting the entry, and that is of object type. Next, so this is of object type, right? So I need to convert that into object. See, cannot convert to object to map dot entry. So
Entry.
we can typecast it. Okay, so we can get the entry. Now what I'm doing, I'm trying to print it. So whatever just now
Dot
written is with using it for
dot
because of
get
syntax
value.
problem only. Yeah,
Okay.
get value and get value. So there were different methods here. Okay, if you want
Yes.
set value also you can set it, not a problem. So
Yes.
this is the way we can get the value and keys, and we can navigate through maps.
Maps. Okay.
Okay, by using iterator, and for by using for loop also we can do it. Hmm? Mm, let me write for that also. Okay, for
Yes.
so this is a entry set. Oh, m dot entry set, it is written set iterator. This I have to write there, and I need to get entry entry. So what it is written in generally, it's written in the um, not required entry set dot iterator, and it is written entry. Yeah, I played with this, but it's giving error. It's syntactical problem. I will explain for this about tomorrow. Don't worry.
Okay,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah. Okay, but remind me. Okay.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So can we wrap up class for today? But before coming tomorrow class, just you have to brush up all these collections concept. Means
Yes,
whatever
sir.
till now I explained. So if you want my material, I will share. Don't worry. Okay.
Yeah, that
So
would be
can I share
helpful,
that
sir.
one?
Yes, sir.
So
Sure.
whenever you study that, try with